Suncoast, brother. Wow, dude, look at Krager go. What a show he put on this last night.
Krager got to live my dream. He got to rip the WWE cards, again, for our friend Sack over there. I've been waiting for somebody to pull the trigger on that, and it finally happened, and Krager was the guy to do that. Again, perfect man for the job, knows his WWE knowledge, is familiar with what you're looking for in that, and dang, had some good cards coming out.
I know, man. I am excited to go back and watch some of that, get a couple clips. Good morning, his wifey.
What's up, his wifey?
Good morning, B. Langley, Skeedoop. We got Chandi hanging around. Shout out Chandi for the Angels cards yesterday. Very kind of him to donate those to me.
What a guy. What a guy.
All right, I know. I mean, that's what the hobby's all about right here.
It's what the hobby is all about.
And of course, oh boy, Ray Krager. Are you guys saying, can you smell what the Rock is cooking? Krager, this is going to be a fun deep dive this morning. Ben, are you able to play that little Krager clip for us to get us going? 24/7 streaming. The energy and excitement does not stop. Shout out to Mike. We had a quick turnaround time on our quick clip.
Quick turnaround time on this. I don't even know what we're expecting out of this. Here we go. Here it is. Yep. That's what we're looking for, baby.
Oh, I absolutely love it.
That is amazing.
Krager was cracking us up as we woke up this morning through the wee hours of the night. You can't get that anywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
Anywhere else.
Just shout out Krager. He's the man. Does a great job over the night. Definitely a Hulkamaniac as a kid. Well, I tell you what. I mean, you might know more than me because I went to Clearwater and like. Hulk Hogan, what's his deal? He has like a whole bar or something like that?
I think you can go down there and just find him hanging out. You know what I mean?
Like, which I feel like is a good and bad thing. I don't know if he's handing out like HGH pills to you with your drinks or whatever. But
no, he's a Clearwater guy for sure, though. I mean, a lot of those WWE wrestlers are Tampa people, but what's ZK talking about?
Good morning, ZK. ZK's an Eagles fan. I know we know ZK. It's got to be something about the Birds. Go Birds, ZK. Good morning to you. I've missed you, man. I've missed you. I've been peddling the Jalen Hurts narrative for you. Oh. I thought it was going to be about the Eagles. Shows you my knowledge here of WWE. It is a little lacking, I'll be honest.
They do it!
Good morning, Lay Do It!
Look who's back in the chair is speaking to you. Where it all began for Lay Do It, right here with us two.
I thought ZK was talking about a Gene Steratore meme, by the way. Hand up, that's on me. Ledoux says, Alec is the people's champ, giving them the people's elbow. But Alec has been the people's champ. Big Dawg might have been the champ in my heart so far. I know he's been Blaine's champ so far early on at Suncoast.
Where's Blaine at? Is Blaine in here? He should be rocking and
rolling.
Hey,
there we go.
There he is.
It.
Let's go.
So we got a full day of Big Dawg with Swamp King in the store.
Family show, brother. What do we?
I don't know. I'm going to pretend like I don't know what that means. I agree, CK. Maybe not 20 plus, but I do think the Eagles roll in the Super Bowl. Quick little, like a little rundown of what we got going on. Today's a wacky and wild show. I'm going to be honest with you. I am so pumped that I got Big Dawg next to me today. So I kind of want to hang out with Big Dawg a little bit. Big Dawg being a Steelers fan, I want to ask him a couple questions about the Steelers because I saw a Colin Cowherd clip that I blew my mind about how bad the Steelers have been recently, and I kind of wanted to talk to Big Dawg about it. Wanted to get a little discussion going on about what it takes to build a Super Bowl roster, kind of look back on the playoffs as a whole. But there is so much stuff I want to talk about in terms of the card world, revisiting the Paul Skenes debut patch. Cooper Flagg signing with Topps, I think is actually a huge deal that not a ton of people are talking about. A couple random Wacky Wednesday clips I wanted to play for everybody. And I want to do my top 5 dogs in honor of Big Dawg joining the show with me today. And of course, don't ask him about the coach. Oh boy, I will. I will, Blaine. And of course, with Big Dawg here today, I am just so pumped. I want to get wacky. I want to do a little Wacky Wednesday stuff today and play some funny clips that I've been seeing over the past week. But without further ado, Big Dawg, I do want to talk about your Steelers. And Ben, if you wouldn't mind with the Colin Cowherd clip I saw. Is Mike Tomlin going to win Coach of the Year this year? Was he nominated?
Hopefully not.
Was he nominated? I know the nominations came out.
I think Mike's just trolling us right now. I think he's trying to get in underneath the skin, getting into Slab early here.
I tell you what though, I think you would deserve it more than most. Oh, and one more thing, I forgot. Slab or no slab, of course. What I know many of you may be most excited for today, 10 a.m. I did remember a trivia question today. Okay,
Good Mojo's coming with me in the building. We're looking to give away something.
2 slabs with Big Dawg on the table today. Okay, so 10 a.m. we will get a trivia question in our first giveaway. 10:45 a.m. Eastern time, our second trivia question, and then you know the deal. At 11 a.m. this guy right here is gonna be ripping some Swamp King today. I'm telling you.
We got a great break in the shop down below too. We are gonna be pumped for that one. So.
I got to go to the swamp.
I know you got to go to the swamp.
It's an honor and a pleasure.
I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get muddy today. So
all right. Let's play this Colin Cowherd clip. I know Colin Cowherd. This Colin Cowherd.
I like Colin Cowherd.
I love him too. He's got some really damning numbers about your Steelers. Ben, thank you, sir. Mm-hmm. Roll the film. This was a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Big Dawg, do you see anything wrong with that? Do you find any lies with Colin Cowherd? Because as a neutral, Big Dawg, I look at the Steelers and I'm like, wow, Mike Tomlin, all he does is win. Great defense, historic franchise. And I heard those stats and I heard that kind of breakdown, and it was like an aha moment for me. I don't know how you feel as a fan of the team.
Dude, again, people who are the Yinzer fans, and I wish there were some Yinzer fans. Hopefully there's some in the chat. We all feel united in the same way that we feel. And I know other people disagree with that. Mm-hmm. There is, like Colin Cowherd said, there is that the historicness to the franchise. There is stability that we usually have. Like, it is, we just cannot settle for what is occurring right now. I think that comparison is very accurate.
Really?
Again, the only reason that we're winning again is because Tomlin needs to get his 9 wins on the season. And again, we're that team that has those just enough to get there. We have enough of the pieces that we don't like, that we can make it happen, because we aren't the Giants. We won't go into those like horrible losing loops. We find a way to win no matter what, whether that means our defense carries and TJ Watt has to be like the main guy that won a game from defense somehow, or if Russell Wilson and George Pickens just choose to decide to go off one game. Like, that's, you never know what's going to happen with the Steelers, but you know that we're not going to settle for anything else, except as of recently, we have been getting, again, speaking for all of the Pittsburgh fans, we are sick of what is happening. Again, I've not seen a playoff win since I was in high school, and I've gone through college. I've gone through so much of life at this point.
That's crazy.
Yes, I was a senior in high school the last time the Steelers won a playoff game, and that is a big problem. Everything that was addressed in that Colin Cowherd video is accurate, and it is a huge problem. The biggest lie that was, if there was anything that was lied, it was George Pickens being the star. He is a star in no means. So
Ledoux is saying Paul Skenes for quarterback.
I know, that's what people are saying. That's like what the meme is around in Pittsburgh, is just throw Paul Skenes in the quarterback position.
Not a bad idea. I don't hate it. Would sell more tickets probably. No, that's not true. Pittsburgh, I mean, the Steelers have never had a problem with selling tickets. So, all right, so you see no lies with Colin Cowherd comparing the Steelers to the Giants, and I would have to agree, unfortunately.
We need to be real. Like, this, it needs to be that serious. Like, again, winning and getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs 8
not
years in a
enough.
row. It's not enough. We're on the same. We're just with everybody else. The only difference is I'd rather be a team like. I don't know. Like, I'd rather be a team like the Raiders and have a top 5 draft pick and like pick them up. Like, again, the Commanders. The Commanders had to be bad for 10 years. Now they have Jaden Daniels, and now they're going to have 10 good years. You know what I mean? The Steelers are drafting 21st in this coming draft. Like, there's no way. It's hard to get better when you're drafting, not even in the middle. You're drafting above the middle every single year. So, like, that's one of the bigger problems too. Is like, the teams aren't even good. They're winning. But in return, like on the long term, it's just not. There's no way to improve.
What's the most recent big move the Steelers have made? Like, I can't think of a single move that the Steelers have really made that was of any consequence.
Yeah, nothing really. Like they got Patrick Queen this past offseason, who didn't even do that well. I mean, he was all right, but like, it wasn't that big. But
Ledoux's right. Ledoux says Ross, which
is like, and Fields together. Russ and Fields together was pretty big headlining news. Like, to get a two-headed dragon, kind of. But
so let me put you then, as a fan, in the situation of the Steelers front office, and they go, Big Dawg, we've seen your work on Suncoast. You know, we love your energy. You know, you clearly pull heat. Come on over here, and we need you to turn this franchise around, Big Dawg. What the heck do you do? Dude. Like, what's your first order of business? What's your plan?
So again, listen, I'm really big on the Tomlin needs to go train. Maybe it's too early for that. Again, with Justin Fields sitting on the bench, though, like that's where I would love to bring in a young coach. Again, there was a great hypothetical that was made yesterday about Freeman from Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
I think he has shown there was zero interest. It's a whole made up situation. But like, again, I think him.
It's fun.
It's fun to think about, but I think him and Justin Fields would be crazy together. Both young, like innovative. They could do something crazy. Again, maybe if they have a bad year, they're still both super young. They can get it going. I think that would be something that you have to look at. Again, the problem is when you do talk about the other options out there, there isn't really any. But again, looking at it, like, I wouldn't mind taking Aaron Glenn. Like, again, Aaron Glenn.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? The Jets just got him. Like, I feel like he would have been good for this. Like, that would have been fresh for the Steelers to get somebody like him who has a crazy defensive mind. Like, again, new, innovative, has crazy ideas. It's not the same old. Like, again, there's not really any better options than Tomlin, but like,
so your first order of business is moving off of Tomlin.
The problem is, it depends who there's a whole mess with the quarterback situation. I like Justin Fields. They currently like Russell Wilson from what I'm seeing in the media. But again, I would just be down to develop the young guy. He was a first round draft pick 2 or 3 years ago.
Fields,
now.
Yeah.
He played 6 games this season.
One in those games, right?
Yeah, one in those games, and then like now the mystery is still out there. Like now, all of the questions this offseason still weigh on, like, is Justin Fields, is he good? Is he not good? Like, we saw what Russell Wilson is, but like, dude, I don't know. I think my first order of business would be a new coach. I think the fans of Pittsburgh would be pumped about that.
Really?
I think that would.
The outside perspective is always Tomlin's the man. Tomlin just wins.
He is the man. Like, everybody wants to play for him, but like he doesn't close. Like.
After Big Ben, I know we've talked about this before, but after Big Ben, look at the quarterbacks that Mike Tomlin has had to work with, right? It has been Mason Rudolph. It was like a day and a half of Josh Dobbs. It was Kenny Pickett for 2 years. It's Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. Don't you think maybe a quarterback is the right place to start?
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point because it goes back to Ben Roethlisberger being the quarterback because he was so stubborn and was never allowed the Steelers to draft a backup quarterback. We never drafted.
Kind of respect it.
We never drafted his replacement because he was like, he was our king. He was stubborn, and if we drafted that replacement, Ben was going to be mad, and we would have had more problems in the locker room than not. So a big part of the problem, I think, is that when Ben was on his way out, first of all, I think Ben lasted 2 years, potentially too long. Again, we still ended up with winning seasons and made the playoffs again. But
he was so bad, man.
Those 2 years that Ben was playing where he was bad, those two last years, again, they were not good. There should have been somebody getting ready to go. And again,
that's true.
Wasn't.
Was there the 1 year where they were like 11-0 with Big Ben? One of those years?
Yeah, one of those years, yeah.
That is such a disgrace, man. I feel for you as a Steelers fan, where you clearly have this great team and you have Big Ben holding you back. You always knew the team wasn't going to do anything.
That was the year when everything kind of started with like the Steelers fans becoming very upset with everything. Like that again, we knew Roethlisberger was on his way out. We didn't know what we were going to do. I think the frustration started at that season.
And
we lost to the Browns in the playoffs.
We crushed them.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster, Browns is the Browns. I remember.
Yeah. We got crushed by the Browns. Ever since that game, there's a picture of Ben Roethlisberger and Marquise Pouncey sitting on the bench crying. I don't know if you're familiar with that picture. Ever since then, it has just been a whole downward spiral. There's no control, anything. The culture is gone. And again, I think as good as Tomlin is, it would just be so refreshing to have somebody new calling the shots. Again, a big thing that I like to look at is look at Tomlin's OCs. He has not had anybody who has become a head coach. You have other guys
bad.
You have other guys like underneath the Ravens. I forget what the offense coordinator.
Munkin?
No, the guy that's coaching the Seahawks now.
Oh, dude, you're right. I
forget what
job. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, whatever the Seahawks coach is. He got elevated because he was a good OC, I believe, on the Ravens. Munkin can get a head coaching job.
Yes.
Aaron Glenn got elevated to a head coaching job.
Right, both the Lions. Both Lions.
Everybody who Tomlin hires, we've had Todd Haley, Matt Canada.
Like, come on now.
Now we have Arthur Smith, who really isn't much of a difference.
And Arthur Smith, by the way, I assume Mike Tomlin's the one in charge of hiring,
for sure,
right?
Yeah.
Arthur Smith was like the butt of every joke for 2 years, and then Tomlin goes out and brings him in.
And so my thing is again, I think Tomlin refuses to hire somebody smarter than him. Because I think once somebody is smarter than him,
that's something I would do.
And once the fans start liking somebody else more than Tomlin, it's over. You know what I mean?
That
I don't think anybody
point.
I don't think Tomlin wants anybody to take the reins. Like it's all these amateur guys. It's all like, dude, all these guys. We just take his coordinators and just boo out and I demand them to be fired just to replace with somebody who does the exact same thing. Like,
and you're saying at the end of the day, it's not. It's like, how can you blame these guys when it's the big man upstairs, Tomlin, pulling all the strings?
Definitely.
But here's my point. Here's my question. What were you going to say? I don't want to cut you off here.
No, go back to what you were saying.
Because I just really think that's a good point. By the way, it's kind of opened up my third eye the way I've looked at Mike Tomlin in terms of the coordinators. I had never noticed that. I had never thought about that. But I am a big believer. You can't take all the credit away from Tomlin. I do think he's a good head coach, Big Dawg. Like, don't you think if Mike Tomlin were to be fired, if you were to replace him with some young hot guy, like Marcus Freeman, pause. But I mean like a big hot name in the coaching market, like Marcus Freeman. Don't you think another organization would scoop up Mike Tomlin?
For sure,
yes. And if you were to put a good quarterback with Mike Tomlin, don't you believe in him, or are you so out on him?
So again, I think it would be just one of those situations where it's just time to move on, kind of thing. Like if that happened, I wouldn't hate
this makes
Tomlin.
Me sad, man.
It's like we need something new and fresh.
This makes me sad.
It's really not because of
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's just like you sometimes just need that change. Like it is so painful just watching this every single year.
And Greg H makes a great point, like Andy Reid in Philly.
Yeah, it's happened.
And I always say that too, Greg, where it's like Eagles fans hated Andy Reid when he left. I have never, and myself included, I've never heard an Eagles fan ever say, "Oh my God, why did we get rid of this guy?" Because when you lived through it, you knew the time, you knew the time was up. Mm-hmm. And clearly, he's one of the greatest coaches of all time, which I think Tomlin will probably go down as, maybe not nearly to Andy Reid, but at a certain point, it's just time to move on for better and for worse. Yeah. I mean, there's both true.
And again, after Andy Reid left the Eagles, you guys went through through up and down seasons. You know what I mean? You had
Doug
different
Peterson, who won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But you also had to go through Chip Kelly.
For sure.
Who looked great and then exploded.
But now you have Sirianni, and Sirianni has more playoff wins in the past 2 years than Tomlin probably has in the past
Sirianni
20
also
years.
has, correct me if I'm wrong, as many Super Bowl appearances as Mike Tomlin?
Mike Tomlin has 2, so now Sirianni has 2.
Yeah, which is crazy to say. What's up, Alan? Happy Hump Day. So, all right, let me. Ledoux made a comment, and then someone else made a comment as well. Oh yeah. Ride Dog and Ledoux. This is kind of what I want to get to as well, because I think we could talk all day about Tomlin, but and I don't disagree with you, Big Dog, because you kind of opened up my perspective with that coordinator point. That was a really good point, and I might have to do a deep dive on some of the other offensive coordinators he's had. Mm-hmm. I really believe, it's a quarterback league. We all know this. Mm-hmm. There's only so much you can do with Najee Harris and George Pickens and Deontay Johnson, whatever. You're now seeing Deontay Johnson maybe not as good as he looked on the Steelers.
I agree with what you're saying, but there was a time where we had Roethlisberger, AB, Le'Veon Bell, and Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
one of the best offensive lines in the league. And like it's still
2014-ish kind of times.
Yeah, we still couldn't make it happen.
The Killer Bees.
Yeah. It still couldn't come to fruition no matter what, even when the talent was there. So
man, I've never thought about it from your perspective. I think everyone on the outside is kind of like, Steelers great, great.
Yeah, because their team sucks. So they're like, yeah, Steelers are great. You know what I mean? Like,
let me. This is a CBS article. It just kind of goes over, not even from a Steelers perspective, just kind of all the quarterbacks in the free agent. It's not great, man. It's not great.
Yeah.
But I do think with the Steelers defense, you will always have a chance. As long as TJ Watt, Tomlin, and you got a good defense, you will have a puncher's chance in the playoffs, which I know is not what you want to settle for.
I know.
But I do think you could be a good quarterback away from being a legitimate team. So here are the options that I'm seeing from CBS. Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. Those are the top 3 free agent targets, but they also give 4 trade targets as well that I'll throw out. Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, and Derek Carr. Out of all of those names, it's horrible. Those are some pretty horrible names. But out of all of those names, Big Dawg, do any of those guys inspire the tiniest bit of hope? And if so, like, who would you pick out of those names?
I like Fields, man. I really do. I think people sleep on him. Again, he went 4-2. Again, who knows how he could have finished the season, but again, we might have had a higher draft pick with however he finished. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been the same result no matter what. Like, I like Fields. I like the potential to develop him. He's so young. But again, my whole point of what I'm saying is like it's different with Tomlin, who's such an old guy, older guy, has his ways to the system already. Like somebody needs to let Justin Fields go crazy. Somebody needs to experiment with Justin Fields and let them do crazy things. You know what I mean? Like
I like get in the lab.
Like Ben Johnson with Justin Fields probably would have been something crazy.
I'd like
you know
to
what
see
I mean?
that.
Like I would have loved to see that. Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin always have some kind of little connection. I don't know if you're familiar with like.
I'm not.
There's been like times where like Aaron Rodgers and when he was on the Packers, they like nodded and have had interesting conversations after the handshakes. And as a Steelers fan, I thought there was always times where Aaron Rodgers was going to come, but I don't want that. I don't want.
You don't want it now.
I don't want any of these veterans, to be honest. No Kirk Cousins, no Sam Darnold.
Okay.
The youngest guy available, and the Russell Wilson. Again, started off, won the people over, but then again, it's not about how you started, it's about how you finish, and the decay was just quite evident from Russell Wilson.
Bad.
Like it was
the decay.
The decay,
Oh man.
Like, it was he's old. I can't believe he was part of that trivia question of
Starting
going to 2
quarterbacks?
Super Bowls. Yeah, because he was very good. He did show flashes of his prime. But it's over, and it's not again. I'm big on saying like the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over.
Fourth time I've heard that in the last 24 hours.
And getting the same result, and that is literally what's been happening with the Steelers. I would take Justin Fields, and I would like to work with that. I think Justin Fields, again, has paid his dues on the bench, has probably learned a lot, has a lot of ball knowledge.
Yeah. And you see that work for a lot of these guys. Jordan Love is the one that comes to mind. Take that as you may. How about Patrick Mahomes? If you got to look further, he did not start his rookie season. It's a legitimate thing, I think. Taking a year, sitting on the bench. Bryce Young, after he got benched this last year, he looked so much better. I think I'm with you. I would like to see Justin Fields, but I also want to look on after door number 3. Ledoux with a funny comment here. Can't stop replaying Duval.
Why did you say it like that?
After yesterday. But I want to go to Ledoux's other comment in here. Was it Ledoux said Cam Ward? Selling the house for Cam Ward. By the way, do you know how many years are left on Mike Tomlin's contract with the Steelers off the top of your head?
I don't.
I do not either, to be honest with you.
I think I know the Bears just tried to contact him about it. I think the contract was recently signed, maybe for like 3 years or something.
So I was hoping for that number. Let me lay this hypothetical out for you, because Ledoux has my brain going now. Cam Ward, depending on the mock draft you look at. Some people have Cam Ward going first, second, third. It's really first, second, or third I've really seen for Cam Ward in this year's draft. If you're the Steelers and if you're Tomlin, could you see this kind of like last kind of gasp plan where he says, who's the owner? Is it still Rooney or whatever?
Yeah.
He goes to the owner and says, let me cook here. All right. 3-year plan. Let me trade first round picks galore. All right. I think we have our guy with Cam Ward. We'll set our first round pick this year, next year, 4 years from now, whatever. And I want to go Cam Ward. Give me 3 years to work with Cam Ward, try to develop a superstar quarterback. I know it's risky, and if it doesn't work, We will part separate ways after 3 years, but just give me the draft capital, give me the sign of approval, because we can't keep doing this no man's land with a bit part quarterback and a defense. Would you sign up for that?
Dude, at this point, I think I would sign up for that.
Yeah,
like, I know it sounds crazy, but
it's going to cost a lot. It's going to cost a lot.
Something drastic needs to happen. Like something crazy needs to happen. Something big like that again needs to happen. And again, after 3 years, then we have clarity. We either know that we're going to be probably in a crazy rebuild and it's probably going to be bad or like we did it worked, like long-term investment paid off. I think I think that needs to happen. It's not going to happen, but something drastic like that needs to happen. Again, if the name's Shadur Sanders, no, I wouldn't say I would not take the same deal. I like Cam Ward. I don't. Who's the other quarterback coming out?
Jalen Milroe.
Not for Jalen Milroe.
Apparently, he had a horrible pro day or whatever it was supposed to be.
They say he has small hands like Kenny Pickett. So
oh no! Come on! Don't give me any small hand nonsense, John Harrow.
I'm fine with trading Pickens. Pickens can be traded.
Oh, come on, Ledoux. What world are you living in where the Giants are trading Malik Neighbors?
Not for Pickens.
Oh, my goodness.
Not for Pickens. Not for the guy that's showing up late to games.
A big dog can dream, but I don't know about all that. Ride Dog, what's up, John Harrow? Nothing much, just talking a little sports here. We do have a Swamp Coast special in the store already, John.
Swamp Coast special.
And stick around because we're about to do a pretty massive giveaway, assuming we can get this trivia question right in 2 minutes here. Ledoux, that's a good point.
They did get rid of
Saquon. Look at what Ride Dog's saying. I think this is crazy, man. What about you? I would bring in Mariota. His offensive coordinator in Tennessee was Arthur Smith when he was cooking in Tennessee. Ride Dog, I appreciate you thinking outside of the box, but Marcus Mariota,
no.
I'm sorry. That's not it. I think you're better off with Russell Wilson than Marcus Mariota.
With that logic, we could bring in Ryan Tannehill too.
Brother, that is crazy. All right, trivia question going off in just 2 minutes. And by the way, there was a hint of the trivia question already in this show. It's like, remember in school when you would take a test?
Yes.
You would be like, I have no clue what this question is asking me. And you have to flip back a couple pages and be like, hold on. The question a page ago gave me a clue to that question. Oh, man, good test taker. No big deal. Ledoux says, I didn't mind Rudolph. Low-key, me neither, Ledoux. What? Dude, Rudolph was cooking. Rudolph was the best quarterback on the Titans roster this season. Not that that's saying anything, you know?
Rudolph made a big mistake in a certain game.
Were you talking about the helmet game?
Yeah.
Oh.
He definitely said something he shouldn't have.
Are you serious?
And
you think he said the word?
And with Tomlin being the coach, I think
really
he paid.
Wow.
And with Tomlin being the coach, I think that Rudolph paid a price for that.
If that's true, I think you should pay that price
for
by
sure.
The way.
I think.
Don't get me wrong.
Rudolph again. That whole incident really changed everything about Rudolph in a lot of Steelers fans.
Really?
The only thing that made Rudolph got his saving grace with coming back to save us from the Kenny Pickett disaster, but from the murmuring of Steelers fans, that's our theory from the Steelers fans.
Wow, my third eye's been open. I am glad I talked Steelers with Big Dog because I feel like I've seen things from a whole different perspective all of a sudden.
I do not think Rudolph, I think after that incident, he should have been traded because he was on the bench for 4 years, and there was always a mystery of can we put Rudolph in? Can we put Rudolph in? And
something's up here.
Rudolph was never put in. So
all right,
moving on from that.
But. Trivia question time to get our first giveaway of the day, ready to rock and roll.
NFC champion Kenny Pickett. Can you believe it?
I can. Heart of a champion. He played. What if I told you Kenny Pickett would play in an NFC championship victory? Don't look into the context of how he played.
Oh, it's sickening.
All right, we asked a question earlier about how many active NFL quarterbacks have started in the Super Bowl. So today's question, head coach.
I like it.
Head coach.
I like it.
How many active NFL head coaches have coached in multiple Super Bowls? Active head coaches have coached in multiple Super Bowls. They gave you two.
Yeah.
We just gave you two. The choice is 2, 3, 4, or 5. Those are your choices, 2, 3, 4, or 5. How many active head coaches have coached in multiple Super Bowls? This is a surprising one. B-Lev says 3. Keep in mind, to give you a little hint, recent hires as well. Some recent hires. All right, guys? Come on now. It might be a little tougher than you think.
I see where we're going.
How are we looking, Ben? Uh-oh. I got to vote. Oh, no! 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 It's wrong. It is incorrect.
So it's Tomlin. It's Andy Reid. It's Pete Carroll now.
Yes.
It's it's the Sirianni count on that list. So that's where everybody got 4 from. I'm curious if everybody got those 4 or if they forgot Pete Carroll and I'm missing.
And Sean McVay.
Yeah.
And Sean McVay. Now, the reason that it was kind of a tough one, Pete Carroll getting hired pretty much this past week brought it from 4 to 5. Shout out to Blaine who says use ChatGPT. Come on.
Sirianni's also kind of tricky because he's just going.
Well, that's why. That's why I did add it, and I think we did say Sirianni there. That was a little bit tricky today, and I'll be honest, I had to make it a little bit tricky because yesterday I forgot a trivia question. We just gave you a slab or no slab opportunity for the absolutely free. Blaine, I feel bad, man. I feel bad. I know.